In the heart of a quiet town, where gray skies and pavements ruled, lived a woman named Emily. Her life was as drab as the streets she walked, until one day, a man named Jack entered her life. Jack was an artist, a man who saw the world in a kaleidoscope of colors. He painted landscapes, portraits, and still lives, each one a burst of vibrancy that seemed to leap off the canvas. His work was his passion, his purpose, his escape from the monotony of life. Emily, a woman of routine and predictability, was drawn to Jack's work. The colors, the emotions, the life they seemed to breathe, it was a world she had never known. Yet, she felt a connection, a pull that she couldn't ignore. One day, Emily found herself in Jack's gallery, standing before a painting that seemed to capture her very soul. It was a scene of a meadow in full bloom, a riot of colors that seemed to dance and sing. Emily stood there, lost in the beauty, when Jack walked up to her. "That's my favorite," he said, pointing at the painting. "It was inspired by a place I visited once. A place so full of life, it seemed to be a dream." Emily looked at him, her eyes reflecting the colors of the painting. "It's beautiful," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Jack smiled, a warm, genuine smile that made Emily's heart flutter. "Would you like to visit that place with me?" he asked. Emily hesitated. She had never ventured far from her comfortable life. But there was something about Jack, something that made her want to take a chance. "Yes," she said, surprising herself. The trip was everything Emily could have imagined and more. The meadow was alive with the sounds of birds, the rustle of leaves, and the sweet scent of flowers. Jack painted every day, capturing the beauty around them in his art. Emily watched, amazed at the colors that seemed to flow from his brush. Slowly, Emily began to change. The gray that had once defined her life was replaced by a riot of colors. She found herself laughing more, living more, experiencing more. Jack had brought color into her life, and she was grateful. But as the days turned into weeks, Emily began to realize that Jack was more than just an artist. He was a man who saw the beauty in everything, a man who made her feel alive. And she found herself falling in love. But love, as beautiful as it was also painful. Jack was free, a man who lived for his art and his adventures. Emily was tied to her life, her routine, her comfort. And as they stood in the meadow, under the blazing sun, Emily knew she had to make a choice. She chose love. She chose to leave the gray behind and embrace the colors. And as she looked at Jack, his eyes filled with love and admiration, Emily knew she had made the right choice. They returned to their lives, but the colors remained. Emily, once drab and gray, was now a riot of vibrancy. And Jack, the man who had brought color into her life, was now her partner, her lover, her soulmate. And so, in the heart of a quiet town, where gray skies and pavements still ruled, lived a woman named Emily. Her life was no longer drab and predictable. It was a kaleidoscope of colors, a testament to the power of love and the beauty of life. And every day, she looked at the world with new eyes, seeing the colors that Jack had taught her to see. And every day, she was grateful for the man who had brought color into her life.